Greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining me today on the Moneybag 73 channel. As much as some of you don't like when I point out the debunkers, I just had to do another video on this. So if you go and search the most viewed videos on YouTube for the Mandela effect, you'll find 5 videos by Shane here, who has 19 million subs on YouTube. He's got the top 5 most viewed videos. And it was actually Shane's video that my son watched that prompted him to ask me a series of questions that I got all wrong and kind of upset and wondering how he was doing this to me. And it got me into the Mandela effect. So, we now have Shane's brother who's gone through and thinks that he has debunked 10 of the most well-known Mandela effects. Now, this is hilarious. You have to watch this just for the comedic relief that it supplies. I mean, that's why I like watching this stuff. It's just so hilarious. So I'm going to give you a few of the reasons he gives for debunking some of these things here, and you can watch it to see the rest. But so he starts out by saying that this isn't one of his hugest, or this isn't one of his favorite conspiracies. Now, conspiracy is when 2 or more people plan something in secret that's harmful or to others or illegal. Now, I wouldn't consider the Mandela effect to fall into that category. It's a phenomenon for me, but people can't stop calling it conspiracy. Anyway, one of the funniest things in this video is that he actually says something incorrectly, which is a Mandela effect. So I'm going to point that out here in a second. So the first one he goes through is Sex and the City, and he debunks this by saying all he had to do was ask the biggest fan of Sex and the City, which is his wife, and she said, no, it was never Sex and the City. It's always been Sex and the City. Debunked. I mean, come on. Right? I mean, it's so hilarious. These people think they can debunk one of the biggest things that happened in the history of the human race. This is so big, and it's just getting bigger. There's so many videos I want to do, and I don't have the time to do them. I mean, for the first time in almost 3 years, I have more videos than I want to do than I have time to do them. I've never been this backed up. So this continues to just grow, and more people are finding out about it all the time. The second Mandela effect that he tries to debunk is Interview with a Vampire, and he points to Anne Rice's book and says, you know, just look at the title. You can see that the title is Interview with the Vampire, so it's debunked. The guy doesn't even understand what the Mandela effect is. I mean, he sort of does. He kind of gets into some of the later ones where it seems like he kind of understands the phenomenon, but I don't even think he understands the phenomenon. And his brothers got the most viewed videos on YouTube for the Mandela effect. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, then he goes to the Berenstain Bears, and he says all you got to do is do a little research, and you'll see that the authors of the books are the Berenstains. That's their name. So, no, the books were named after them, right? That's all I got to do. Just a little research. I guess I don't do enough research. I mean, I don't know. Maybe what am I up to? Like maybe 3,000 hours now? That's not enough. And then he says the thinkers, just a bunch of people who thought that they were doing the right pose when they did it incorrectly, and they're doing it next to the statue, and it's not correct because they're just stupid and they're just making mistakes. I mean, that's how he debunks it. And then this is the greatest one here. He debunks the Queen song by saying that of the world in the end, a 5-second search, you can see that in a live performance, he does do it. Not in the original studio version, but in a live version, he says of the world. So that's what we're remembering. So he thinks that me as a 10-year-old listening to my little radio with my little cassette player, you know, I just sitting there listening to the radio, and I'm here listening to Queen, and I hear of the world at the end, always. Those were all live performances I was listening to on my little radio. No, don't think so. I mean, come on, really? So anyway, this is just totally laughable, and the fact that his brother has the most viewed videos on the phenomenon just adds to the craziness of this whole thing. So anyway, you can't debunk the Mandela effect. You can't debunk my memories. And a lot of you watching, I think, would agree that he can't debunk, or anyone can't debunk your memories. So the Mandela effect is just an incredible phenomenon that a lot of us are experiencing. I have some other videos. Oh, almost forgot. Sorry. Let me play this real quick. This was like going to be the highlight of the video, and I almost forgot. So, all right, here we go. Check this out.
And that is why we have the memory. Not because it was in the original Silence of the Lambs, because it was in the sequel. For our 7th example, we go to the 1985 Oscar ceremony, where Sally Fields gave her famous acceptance speech.
Okay? So he's experiencing the Mandela effect unknowingly. I wanted to share something else here real quick. And here it is. This person says, "Ha, try telling this to Moneybags." And then this person says, "Who's that?" A guy who loves Mandela effect. He thinks it's a real thing. And then the person says, "Oh," and then they say, "But can you explain Dolly's braces in Moonraker?" "Yeah, she never wore them in the movie. Just Google it." And within a few links, you'll prove it to yourself. People who don't understand the phenomenon, they think you can just go look the stuff up and say, "Oh, no, look, it was never that. They just can't remember correctly." Oh, man, it's so funny. It's so funny people don't even understand what's being said. I think if more people would actually look into it, I think it's possible for everyone to experience the Mandela effect. It really is. But most people, it's such a crazy sounding theory on the surface of it that most people won't even look into it because it just sounds bizarre. And I understand that. But, wow. It's really going to be an interesting 2019, especially with the Tom Hanks movie that they named incorrectly because of the Mandela effect. If you didn't see my video on that, I'll link it down below. You got to see that video. I'm going to try and do more videos like that one with a little more editing and putting a little more time and effort into the video. So I may not be able to do as many videos if I go down that path, so we'll see. I haven't done a voting video in a while. I'm going to have to do some more voting videos, like I said. I've got a list of things that I want to cover. You know, I'm back to work. I just haven't had the time, so we'll have to see what happens. But anyway, go create the reality that you want, and I'll talk to everyone soon.